What is up? What is up? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, everybody.
Well, for those of you who are joining us, my name is Chris Lynn. I am one of the co hosts of the Hire Me podcast.
I'm Heather Balcerek. I am the other co host of the Hire Me podcast.
You know what, Heather? I was actually thinking about this as I was getting ready like 20 minutes ago, and I was thinking, you know what? These Monday shows are so awesome because we're coming off of a weekend, we're coming into the week, and you and I just kind of have a loose agenda and we get to be kind of like silly and just have fun, especially in the world that we're in right now with like crappy layoffs and stuff. It's like it's a good time.
Yeah,
It's a good
it
time.
is.
It's a
It
highlight.
is. It's a great way to start the week.
Yes.
And I look forward to them. Sometimes I feel slightly nervous, especially like today. We have a new segment, and it was,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is mine. I'm going to do the first one. And then I'm like, oh no, I have to do the first one. So, um, you know, please hold your judgments until we get the segment
So yeah,
together.
so let me do a breakdown and explain to everyone, who we are, what we do, and what these live shows are about. So the Hire Me podcast is all about elevating today's top talent. So if you are a job seeker or you know a job seeker or you want to connect with a job seeker, maybe you're a recruiter, you are a hiring manager, and you want to find today's top talents, our podcast is both on YouTube and on any podcast platform like Apple, Google, Spotify, all of those. And so you can learn about these amazing people who are looking for work over a variety of skill sets, industries, job types, and you can learn about them in 10 minutes or less. Um, what these live shows are, though, is essentially us looking at what's going on in the market. We do this every Monday so far since we've launched, minus one Monday, and we really look at like, well, what do job seekers and recruiters kind of need to know? What is the state of the market from both sides? And we do different things. We'll talk about different things. And so uh, today we're going to focus on, who we looked at or who we talked to last week. We're also going to break down a buzzword that we commonly see in the job market. I asked Heather, I'm like, hey, I've got a pet peeve thing that happened to me this last week. I want to talk about it. It's like a grind my gears segment kind of thing, like Peter Griffin, grind my gears, and and then we'll close out. But other than that, I think that's essentially it. Heather, what am I missing?
No, I think that was a fantastic summary. This is definitely just that kind of place where we just share what's on our mind because we're both kind of going through this process, and we want to like share what we've been seeing, help other people, and that's what we do here on the Hire Me podcast. Um,
Exactly.
and you get
Yeah.
Monday brain.
The Monday brain affects us. I feel like pretty good. Makes us all giddy and giggly like this. Well, if you are joining us and you're watching this live, make sure you put your comments in. We have this broadcasting on LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you're joining us. Please engage with us. Let us know what questions we might be able to answer for you. Anything that you are observing in the job market, feel free to put them in the comments and we will respond. If you are watching this after the live, first of all, join us live every Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, or just feel free to add your comments in and make sure you're sharing this to everyone who wants to see it. Lauren here says, we need a whole series on job market grind my gears, sharing of stories because this job market is insane. Yes, and Lauren, do I have a story for you? So hold on tight. We will talk about that in just a little bit. But Lauren, thank you for being here. Again, if you are joining us and you're live with us, feel free, let us know that you're here.
Yes,
All
we'd love
right.
to know. You want to let's talk about who was on the podcast this past week.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so I know, I think I did 3. Yeah, I
You
did
did.
3 of
Yeah.
the
You had
4.
three.
So, so I'll talk about my three here. So we had Joseph Ekpo on, and so Joseph is a facilities manager or operational manager. He is based in Nigeria, but is looking for global remote opportunities or anything that is local to Nigeria. So, really awesome contact. I learned a lot about kind of what he does in terms of like facilities management and in like with like water and that type of stuff, like water what is the word I'm looking for? Like safety, like, making sure it's safe to drink, that kind of thing. And then operational, he talked about how he has worked on like why is their power so much, right? So like what's taking up most of the power? Like how do they, become more efficient in their operations? So really interesting like line of work. And so I encourage you like go check out Joseph, especially if you know of any of those global remote opportunities. And then we had Brittany Wilson on the show. She was just a delight. I really appreciated just like her take on some things, and she was a learning and development professional. She and I had a lot in common as well, which was really cool. I love getting to know people that way. And then we had Ashley Click, who is an instructional designer with some really awesome global experience as well. She just finished up a contract at Google. So a lot of great experience there from those three individuals. So tell us about your Ashley,
Yeah.
Chris.
So my Ashley Marcinkus, she is an educator transitioning into L&D. So she's been teaching for the past 3 years, and she really is focused on moving into a more corporate space and looking at anything in L&D, whether that's administration. She's even branching out into HR administration roles. So yeah, so those are the four people that we've had, and I think we're still, even with only 4 last week, we're still averaging more than 1 episode per day. So,
Um,
and we have a number lined up. I've got 2 in my back pocket that I need to finish editing, and then those will go
my
live
my
this week.
calendar's pretty open, y'all. So
Yeah,
if y'all want
yeah.
to get on the podcast,
Yes. Yeah. Here's a quick little, for those of you who have been with us before, these are our Calendly. So Calendly woo, speak, Chris. Use your words. Calendly links. That's kind of a tongue twister. So take a picture of it, open the link. Even if you've been with us before, send it to someone who is job seeking. We have an open calendar. So and it's a rolling calendar, so new slots are constantly opening up for us. So would love to have you all and talk with you. Deshauna, good to see you. Thank you again for joining us. Good to have you on. And Callie, yes, amazing how oblivious seem to be to a lot of people who haven't looked for jobs in a long time, being completely oblivious to the challenges both applicants and recruiters are facing now. And the pandemic, I think, like everything, has affected that. So yes.
agreed. All right. Are we ready to go
Yeah,
into our new segment?
let's go into our new segment.
Like
Let's do it.
we got a fancy little dun dun dun. So breaking down the buzzwords, like what does this really mean? So here's how this came about. I'll give you a little backstory on this. Um, through just my own personal interviewing, and then talking to Chris about it, but then also interviewing individuals for Hire Me, I noticed when we talk a lot about certain words, these like buzzwords, and it's like, are we saying them because like they sound good? Are we saying this for the benefit of the interviewer? Like, oh, I want to XYZ, here's buzzword. But do we really know what it means? And like just really getting down to the nitty gritty of this kind of jargon stuff. So the very first one I wanted to tackle, because it was the first one that really spoke to me, was collaborate. And I said it in mine. If you watch my Hire Me interview, it's, what kind of leadership and culture do I want? I want a collaborative culture. Awesome. What does it mean? What does that mean to me? What does that mean to the company? And this is where I think about, even companies have collaboration as a value. It'll be one of their like primary values. Well, what do they mean by collaboration, and really what does it look like? And so I just want to like give the definition right from the Oxford Dictionary or our friend Google. When I typed it in, it is the action of working with someone to produce or create something. Right? It's very simple to understand in theory, but it's not so simple in practice. And I think that I've got a couple of articles that we'll share. I'm actually going to put this into an actual article, and it'll go up on the Hire Me LinkedIn, so you all will have it too. But there was an article that I read where Milton Herman described it. He said collaboration is a strategy that can be used in any type of workplace. And I think that's the biggest part of collaboration, is understanding how are you using it as a strategy, both personally. So when you go into an interview and you say, I want a collaborative culture, what does that mean for you? So like Chris, if I were to say, what does it mean to you when you say you want a collaborative culture? Like, what do you think about in practice? What does that look like?
Yeah, for myself, and I'm so glad that you're bringing this up, because let me back up just one second, is because a lot of work that I do with organizations, when we talk about values, like values have different meanings to everyone, and so breaking these buzzwords down is fantastic. This is a great place for us to break these down. Um, so collaboration for myself, one thing I like to differentiate with collaboration is the difference between collaboration and cooperation, right? When you hear the word cooperation, it's like, oh, you like, those tend to get conflated a bit, or they get, like, they can be used interchangeably. In my mind, they are very, very different things. Cooperation is working with someone to advance their goals or to advance their work, right? Not necessarily that you're bought in, not necessarily that you're working to make that thing better. That's what collaboration is working together to solve problems, utilizing your different viewpoints and experiences and ideas to make something better than it originally was intended to be. And so for collaboration, it really is, in my mind, that 1 + 1 = 3 equation, right? Is where you're looking at something and you're like, hey, I've got this idea, you've got this idea. What can we do to make it happen? I mean, like, Heather, I will self promote here and I'll say, you and I, we both had this idea for the Hire Me podcast, and we got pulled together by Sarah, and we're like, oh, we can actually like work together on this and make a much bigger impact than we initially thought we could do individually. And so that's what we're doing now. And so I would say, like, we are a great example of collaboration.
I would agree with that. This is absolutely such a collaborative effort. And in the collaboration, I think about, right, what about it makes it successful? And that is the fact that you and I, right, we brought our diverse ideas, because they weren't exactly the same, but we brought them together, figured out like what would work best to achieve this goal, because we both had the same goal. We wanted to help other people, help other job seekers get their name out there in a different way. So we brought those ideas together, and made this happen. But we also collaborate in terms of, we use tools to collaborate, right? We use Quip to go back and forth and take notes and put things together. We use when we came together, we talked about, okay, how do we, put this out there? Well, I already had the website, and then and the email addresses. So I set up our YouTube channel, and you already had Captivate for the podcast, and you had StreamYard for like this kind of stuff. And so, we brought that in. And so it's using those different tools to our advantage, to collaborate and make this successful. One of the articles that I'll reference when I write the full article actually goes over some different types of collaboration. And again, this is where when you're answering this question in an interview, or you're asking a company, what does it mean to collaborate? Like, what does that mean for you as the company? Listening for these types of things. And so it's things like, oh, let me scroll. There we go. Like team collaboration, community collaboration, network collaboration, cloud collaboration, video collaboration, internal, external collaboration, and then like strategic alliance in the form of like a collaborative effort. And again, I'll break all this down in the article that I'll put out for it. But it's knowing that and knowing how you work best in those scenarios. Because maybe collaboration for you doesn't work so well if it's only over a text channel. And, maybe that's difficult for you, where that for you to be successful to collaborate, you need to have face to face or screen to screen. You need to have like a mixture of things to be able to be successful at it. Whereas if the team itself is just, oh, we do everything via Teams or Slack, we don't have any other interaction about it, or I give you comments on a Word doc, whatever. Like that's collaboration, sure, but is it going to be helpful for you? Are you going to be successful with that type of collaboration? And so I think when you start to break this down and you're getting prepared for interviews, it's knowing what exactly you mean and being able to provide an example of when collaboration was successful for you. And then when you ask the company what it looks like for them, listening to their answer and being able to pick out to say, okay, that's an environment I can be successful in. Or let me ask a different question. Like, let me dig a little deeper to make sure that I'm understanding, like, is the only way you collaborate this way? Are there other examples you can give me when you're talking to the interviewer?
Yeah, I think those are great tips, Heather, especially when you're looking to align with the values of the organization and the culture of the organizations that you're interviewing with. It's so important to really dig deep and understand, right, what they mean by those buzzwords, and in this case, collaboration. And something to think about as well is that if you're talking to a recruiter, their definition may be very different than the hiring manager's definition, and the hiring manager's definition may be very different than, like, if you do, if you interview with people on the team, right? And so it's so important to kind of ask these questions continually, because you're going to get different answers. I just wanted to pull up this image real quick, and you know you keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. Classic,
Oh, Princess
classic.
Bride. Such a good movie. Love
uh,
it.
well,
But
Heather, any last thoughts on buzzwords, and especially on collaboration?
no, I think I've said my piece about
Yeah.
it. And I'll say more. Obviously, I'll say more about it in the article. And so when it comes out, we'll post it for everybody to see. I won't even say I'm a quarter of the way finished writing it, but I started. That we got an
Cool.
opening paragraph or two.
Sounds good. Well, again, if you're watching this right now, feel free, let us know what collaboration means to you, how you've seen it used as you're job hunting, or again, if you're a recruiter or a hiring manager, let us know what it means to you, and put it down in the comments. All right. Can we get into the pet
Yes.
peeves grind my gear segment? I think this needs to be
Yes.
a new segment too.
I like this segment.
Yes. Okay. So what really grinds my gears? I got 2 emails this last week that were rejection emails for roles that I had applied to and interviewed for. And I had asked for feedback, which, by the way, if you've at least had one conversation with a recruiter or a hiring manager, and you're a job seeker, you should always be, and you get a rejection, you should always ask the question, what in my experience or what in my skills were you looking for that I did not have, that I might be able to, focus on to become a stronger candidate in this process? I would say maybe 4 out of 5 times, or even 9 out of 10 times, you probably won't get an answer. In this case, though, I got a response. I won't say an answer. I'll say I got 2 responses for each, or 1 for each. and they were non-answers. They were, it's a super competitive market right now. I have no, one of them literally said, I have no tangible feedback for you. The other said, just left it at, it's a super competitive market. We're not moving forward with you. And those non-answers are not only infuriating. So if you've heard of the term rage applying to those who are, currently employed, I rage posted today because I was like so like angry with these responses. But it doesn't benefit the job seeker at all. And it does not take any more time for you as the recruiter or the hiring manager to share that one extra sentence or piece of feedback that might help them on that job seeker's journey, right? And so what I mean by this is maybe it is, hey, you know what? We had a lot more candidates with much more experience in this area or in this field or in your general like work field, or hey, we were really looking for this one specific skill set and you didn't have it. Adding that in really allows the job seeker to say, okay, I've been told this maybe 2 or 3 times. I really need to work on that and go out and get that experience or work on those skills, maybe take a couple courses, get a certification, and then that will make them a stronger candidate. For job seekers, being left with no answer or non-answers in this case is just infuriating. It can kind of cause people to spiral. I've had lots of people tell me that they spiral from these like non-answers. And so it's really, really, I think, important and imperative to just provide, you've already made a decision based off of one of those things. So just take that extra second and let them know, like, hey, this is why we decided to move forward with another candidate. That's what grinds my gears. Are non-answers. Non-answers, people. Give feedback.
Or one of my, I can't say favorite things, but one of the things in terms of like getting feedback from interviews, I had interviewed for an internal position at a company, and I didn't get selected, but I was able to, like, I asked for feedback and they met with me to give me feedback. And their main feedback was that my business acumen wasn't strong enough. Again, that's a buzzword.
Yeah.
Business acumen
is crap.
What is that?
Yeah.
But what do you mean? Like, there's no other tangible feedback on like how I could increase my business acumen.
Yeah.
And I went to my mentor, who was a senior level manager, and I told him that was the feedback, and he was like, "Oh, that's terrible." He was like, "That's not feedback. That's not." He's like, "You can't get the business acumen they're probably looking for because you're not in the role they are in. That's what you're trying to gain."
Yes, exactly. It's the whole like, hey, we need 5 years of experience for an entry level position, right? That whole thing, right? There's so many issues in the recruiting hiring world that hiring managers place these unrealistic, I'll say unrealistic, expectations on those that they're looking to hire into roles, and that clouds their judgment. It creates biases that, both for the roles and expectations, but also the unconscious biases that occur. So if you're a hiring manager, you're a recruiter, please, if you're going to give any feedback, productive, actionable feedback. And if you are a job seeker, 2 tips: always, always, always ask for feedback, and always know that this tip I've gotten multiple times is, it's not personal. It feels personal because the job search is so hard, but it really isn't. And so I know it's not helpful in the moment, but knowing that generally is good to hopefully keep your head above water. So, yeah.
I had I got a no thank you from a role that I had interviewed for, and they said, "Hey, if you have any questions, like, please let me know." And I responded, I was like, "Hey, I appreciate it." I said, "I would love to have a conversation. If you have any feedback for me, as I want to make sure that I am prepared moving forward for other companies. Like, I want to make sure I'm presenting my best self." And crickets. Heard nothing.
Yeah.
Which makes me sad, because I was like, I mean, you offered. I mean,
Yeah.
and I asked for it, and I asked,
Yeah.
but didn't hear anything back. And I was like, well, okay. I mean, I guess, if you didn't have anything really actionable, I
Yeah.
guess
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, non-feedback is, um,
I guess here's another mini pet peeve. Don't offer support and feedback if you're not willing to give it. And this goes beyond hiring managers and recruiters. This goes to networking people, and we can get into that another day. But thank you everyone, as you as you've watched, right? Stuck with us. Yeah, if you have pet peeves or in around job hunting and the job market, let us know and we'll talk about it. If you have buzzwords that you would like us to talk about, let us know. If you know someone or want to get on the podcast, let us know. We will be glad to have you. So sign up for an interview here. Again, if you know someone that is job hunting, take a picture of the QR code, send them the link. We are happy to have them on. We're every day we've got more slots opening up. So feel free. And again, make sure you're subscribing and following us on YouTube and LinkedIn. I've been talking a lot, Heather. What take over for me?
no. Oh,
Save me.
I appreciate you talking so much, Chris. Again, like, I feel like my Monday brain has really taken over. And I will just point out my hat, right? I really feel like I need one of those, like the little piece of paper in it, like the
Oh
old
yeah,
news
yeah, yeah.
reporters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, that's what I feel like today. I feel like the news reporter of days gone by in my hat with my hat. And then at least look, I had a bright yellow Band-Aid on earlier, and at least now it's like a regular Band-Aid,
Yeah.
because I don't know how I don't know how I hurt myself, and I don't know how.
I hurt myself.
I
Oh my
hurt
gosh.
myself, y'all. But sorry, really went down that random rabbit trail there. But thank you for being with us today, everybody. We so love doing this. We love meeting people. We love sharing their stories, putting things out there. Please, again, like, share, comment, all the things. And we'll have some more stuff coming up. Um, this live will probably not be on Monday next week, because I'll be at Disney.
Oh yeah.
Um,
We'll
and
reschedule it. Oh, you know what? Actually, no, Heather, this is actually, you know what? There's some news, right? That we may personal news that we may release next week. So maybe we do our episode next Friday.
I like that. I like that.
And
Let's
so,
do.
okay, so let's do that. If you're expecting next Monday, we've said next Monday, or every Monday, it's going to be let's say next Friday, and we'll post it. We'll do all the things. So follow us on LinkedIn. That way you can see all the posts of not only those that we interview, but these events, these live streams, all of those things, and we'll be able to, you know,
Have some fun
maybe
next Friday.
have some fun next Friday. More
And
than
Callie,
yeah.
Callie, if you said me too for you're going to be at Disney, I'm going to be at Disney World. Shoot me a message.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll try to meet up.
Awesome.
All right, everybody, have a fantastic week. Have a great rest of your Monday. And we will see you all again next Friday for sure.
Sounds
But we'll
good.
see you on the postings throughout the next 2 weeks.
See ya.